So, Mr. Carter, would you please, did you apply to the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management for approval for the septic system in the proposed well location?
Yes, we did.
And did you receive an approval from DEM for the proposed septic system in the well location?
Yes, the septic has been approved by DEM at this point.
Okay. And do you have an opinion as to whether or not this proposed application provides adequately for public utilities to the premises?
I believe it does. The septic is in a Dantex the AX20 unit to a bottomless sand filter, which I'm sure the board is familiar with, but it does provide a high level of treatment. We've also, because of the separation to the well, we've included a UV light in line for disinfectant. So yes, I believe it would.
And is that system a two-bedroom system?
It is, yes.
And that system has been approved, again, by Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management?
Yes.
And do you have an opinion, Mr. Carter, based on your experience and expertise as an engineer and as a designer of septic systems, as to whether this proposed system, when operating, would pose any threat to the public health, safety, or welfare, or cause any degradation of the ground or surface water quality as a result of someone living in this house?
It is my opinion that it would not have an adverse effect.
And could you please explain why it would?
The area, in this area, there's a fairly low population. We did do, as part of the DEM application, a cumulative impact study. So we did a nitrogen study heading from the top of the hill, which is probably a couple hundred feet to the west of the slot, down through the bay, taking into account all the septics in that area. And obviously the drinking water standard is 10 parts per milliliter. I think the threshold gets to be a little high at 5. Our analysis showed that this area is down about 1.1. It's well within the standard, so I don't think this would have any adverse effect on either this lot or the surrounding area.
And could you please describe what provisions you've made for stormwater management on the site, Mr. Carter?
The site is designed to, as per the ordinance, is to offset the runoff from a 10-year, 24-hour storm. We've done that using a bed of stone to the south of the house. We've kept the separation between the septic system and the proposed drainage as far as practical. The roof needed to be collected into the system and would be reinfiltrated into the ground in accordance with the rules.
And does that plan that you've prepared and made a part of this application meet all the requirements of the town's ordinance?
It does.
And will that drainage have any negative impact on abutting property owners?
No, it should have a positive impact by reducing the amount of normal town grading.
And does this system result in the least grading and filling and disturbance of the site as is necessary in order to accommodate the proposed structure?
Yes, the bottom of sand filter requires essentially no grading. It's at grade.
And will the subsurface structures pose any threat to the quality of the groundwater removal?
The site's been designed so that the stormwater system, the sand filter, the foundation of the house itself is all at least 1 foot above the groundwater, so as to not have any interference.
And could you please explain the proposed location of the house and the setbacks that you submitted as part of this application for the front side and rear yard setbacks for the proposed well?
Yeah. The front setback is set to 30 feet. We're required to have 40 feet. In the rear, we're required to have 30 feet. We have 23.8, so we sort of prorated this and tried to be consistent with the existing enabled as far as front to back.
Is the septic system, Mr. Carter, located in the front yard setback?
Yes, it is.
And did you need all of the 30 feet setback between the proposed structure and the front yard lot line to install and construct and operate the septic system as proposed in the plan?
We did.
So you needed the whole 30 feet.
Yes.
Now, the rear yard setback, you said, is 23.8 feet.
Proposed, yes.
And can you explain where the well is located? Is that in the rear yard?
The well is located in the northwest corner of the property.
And approximately what's the distance between the septic system and the well?
86 feet.
And is the septic system far enough away from the well that there's no risk of contamination of the well from the effluent that is going to be discharged into the septic system?
Based on the type of system coupled with the down gradient location and UV light, it's my opinion, it'll have no effect on the proposed well.
Now, what are the side yard setbacks, Mr. Brown?
To the north, we've maintained a 10-foot setback, and to the south, we've maintained a 20-foot setback. The 20 is, as was stated earlier, was put a deed.
Permanent deed restriction?
Put a deed restriction on the lot.
So because of the deed restriction, we're not able to move the house any further in that direction?
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. If I have any other questions, Mr. Carter, Mr. Chairman, I'm sure you have to explain this board.
Any questions over here?
Do you have anything in the documentation that illustrated distance between your well and other septic systems close to you? Normally we have a radius map. Okay.
There's no well, Mr. Cripp, to our knowledge, that's closer to our septic system than our own. I believe the requirement, or Mr. Carter should probably answer that question, I think the requirement is 80 feet, which is, it's 100 feet, excuse me, which is why we have the ultraviolet light system which DEM approved. But there's no other well within 100 feet of our septic system, to our knowledge, is that correct?
Yeah, that would be good. I think you're talking in a category A, typically there's a 300 or 400 foot radius that's required for a category A application.
What we normally get is a radius map that shows the location of wells and septic systems in your surrounding environment.
There's one shown on the plan,
Is it?
130 feet.
But I believe that's a requirement of the category A. This is a category B.
I believe that's right. That's why it's not there, Mr. Cripp, because it wasn't required because it's a clear. Any other questions of Mr. Carter? If not, I just have Mr. Godfrey.
I have a letter from Michael Gray. I don't have anything on planning. This doesn't, I'll just check my file, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, while he's doing that, I just wanted to point out to the board, in the town zoning ordinance, in an R40 zoning district, as you know, this is R80, but in an R40 district, the zoning ordinance indicates that if you have a lot that's not R40, you go to the setback requirements of an R20 district. There's no such note for the R80 district, but we use that as a guide in developing the setbacks for this proposal that's before you tonight. And those setbacks